Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast, a brand new episode this week where, as we hate to say, we've actually lost the cup final against Celtic that we talked about last week. Obviously, there was a lot of anticipation build up for this game, and the players didn't deliver on the stage and to the level we really need to go and win a cup and beat Celtic. So we'll talk about thoughts on the game, team selection, Michael Beale's, obviously what he's said after the game, and where that kind of leaves us for the rest of the season, because that's the first piece of silverware going to your rivals, and realistically, you need to go and stop them winning anything. They're already so far clear in the league. Scottish Cup's really the last thing to play for, and this team really are a team of serial losers by the looks of it nowadays. So we'll see if we can even win that one. But as always, if you'd like, subscribe, share, and let us know your thoughts on the game in the comments. That'd be very appreciated, although probably mostly negative at the moment. On to the game. Obviously, you've got Kyogo there, who I think that was his first goal in the game. Before we even go into the actual game of football on the pitch, the team selection. I think we were all crying out for Malik Tillman to be back and be fit, and he was, and he started the game. But the game was won and lost in the middle of the park for where our decisions were made. We starting Glenn Kamara and Lundstrom together. I mean, I've told you this so many times yesterday. Um, the whole thing, obviously, before the game even started, with the team came out, it was like, all right, Lundstrom, he's got the experience in Old Firm games. He's one of the sort of leadership group of the team. Slots back in and whatever else, but you're dropping Nicholas Raskin, who's been the most informed midfielder we've had over the past couple of games, and he looks a class above everybody, and he's only been here for 2 minutes. He gets dropped because you don't want to play him in a final, even though he's a better player. And Lundstrom is the guy that gets the nod just because he knows what an Old Firm is. I don't care if Lundstrom knows what an Old Firm game is. Every player should hopefully know what that is, you know what I mean? And you should be starting a better player. Raskin came on yesterday and actually looked
Positive.
looked positive, looked like he was meant for this type of game, and it suited him down to a T. And I just feel like that was a huge decision for Michael Beale. He went and made, and it backfired on us completely. I think the team sheet, barring that, probably was fine, but the middle of the park has just been weak all season, and we're going into a final here, and it's probably the
Let's
weakest
uh,
performance all season it's been.
let's not forget your boy there as well, Jack. I'm sorry. I never want to see Glenn Kamara play for Rangers again. I really don't. I'm sorry.
Just looks totally uninterested.
He just looks like he doesn't want to be here. And if that's the case, just go and, do you know what I mean, trade him by yourself or what. I don't know. I don't care. I just don't want to see him in the team. As I say, key battles in the middle of the park. It always is in these games, and we lost it. I thought for Celtic, Rio Hatate I thought he was fantastic. Do you know what I mean? They played their best players. We should have also have done that in terms of playing Raskin. Lundstrom, no interest at all. Another one of these hype men for me. Do you know what I mean? He's not been good enough for months now. And as I say, mate, the two of them can get shot. Barisic, I know I've been having a joke on here about, obviously, oh, I know whose dad's and all that. I'll be honest with you, that's good for his dad and all that. But I tell you what, your son can go find your son a club in America or somewhere anywhere. I just don't want to see Barisic play for my club again. Really, him, Kamara, the other two for me that have got to be out in the summer. I don't want to see them play for Rangers again. Really, I don't. And I know they'll probably start with Kilmarnock. They'll probably start that game or what have you. But I just really, it's time for change for me in terms of
Aye.
these players, because as you say, majority of them now are serial losers. Tavernier goes into the Hall of Fame. He's going to be one of the few captains to really lift any silverware. What, two?
And
Two trophies?
that's what we spoke about last season. If we didn't get a result here, that would have backfired. That decision was absurd, actually, for the timing. As we spoke about, why did they do that when the
And I
cup
don't mean
final was
to,
looming?
I know, and I don't mean to hang with I thought Tavernier was excellent yesterday, by the way. I thought he was about one, the only one that had a decent game. He showed leadership. He was telling Kamara, get back, do your job, you know what I mean? But you can look at it two ways for me. Absolutely, Bill got it wrong. But also some of the players' commitment and effort for me just wasn't there at all.
Hmm.
There was one or two situations where Celtic just strolled past us, and that should never happen. Do you know what I mean? That should never happen. I thought, as I say, you could Morelos. We were having a go at Morelos, obviously, before the game. I think ourselves, you know what I mean. 2 and 20. That's no good enough. Do you know what I mean? Especially in these games. Boy actually put the ball in the net. So to be fair,
And
I think
I
we
think
should
that was also one of the biggest mistakes Michael Beale actually made as well, as subbing him.
subbing him
Like,
off. Exactly. Cholak
yeah,
offers nothing. Why?
Cholak, I really like the guy. I think he scored some good goals this season. Whatever, that was at the start of the season in a total different system. Now Morelos is key, and he always has been key for Beale and Gerrard under a system. You're bringing in Cholak. He's basically just Cedric Itten, 2.0 at the moment. Like he's coming on, he's just a he's just a lank of wood up the top. But he doesn't offer anything compared to Morelos, who just scored a goal to get his team back in the game, and he was fired up and ready, and
Ready
he
to
gets
go, and then you
subbed.
bring him off. And you understand his attitude. I can understand that. You know what I mean? 100% can understand that because I kept him on. And we're talking about Lundstram here as well. Everything that people may think John Lundstram is, that's Ryan Jack right there. Ryan Jack knows this game inside out. I thought Ryan Jack came on and he was fantastic. Right, for me, I'd have started Jack and Raskin. I said that to you. I'd have started the two of them with Tillman.
It shows with the impact they made when they came on that was the move to make. Like
I didn't even think Goldson or Davies had a bad game. Do you know?
it was just like the goals we lose are
So poor.
they're so poor for our point of view.
That's the
Obviously, nicely
concentration
worked
for the first one.
for Celtic's point of view, but aye, lack of concentration. Davies has to shuffle over to the front post because
He has got
everybody's
that in
just
him.
disjointed, and then it leaves Kyogo free. And Barisic is just ball. I swear, every single Old Firm goal near enough, Barisic is
He's
just
body.
sitting at the back post watching it happen.
Watching. Aye, I
And
know.
I'm not saying that was totally his fault, that goal, but it's just always seems to be. Um, and Kyogo gets a tap in, perfect time to score as well, right on
Mhm.
the halfway waypoint. We need to come out, obviously, show
What a bad
something.
first half and all.
Oh,
Oh,
I do.
horrendous first
I'm
half.
sick of this. I'm actually sick of this. How can we not turn up for 90 minutes? How
Some of
is
them,
it? How is it?
especially in a cup final against
Like,
your
how is
biggest
that
rivals.
a
How
thing
can
in an
you?
actual football team? They can't play for 90 minutes. Like I don't know what that's down to because that's been under Gio and Beale now so far.
By the way, can
So
I just say as well? I don't know about you, right? But I thought fitness level wise, I thought Celtic got the fitter team and all.
nah, you could say so. You could say so. I think it was.
Just-
I think it was maybe more. I don't really know how to look at that actually because obviously we were the fitter team last season going into all of these games and we could
Aye,
go
regular
extra
playing, but
time and
you know what I
whatever.
mean.
But
Yeah, we're only in, but let's be honest with ourselves. One competition now, really. Do you know what I mean? Can do what we want in terms of the league, but Scottish Cup is all that we have to that has to come back to us. Do you know what I mean? That
that's an embarrassing state to be in at this point in the
being
season. You've already lost your first cup. You're 9 points behind the league, and it's going to be hard to even crawl that back because you can't even go and beat Celtic. So how how are we going to take more points off them? And the Scottish Cup's literally all there's left to play for,
the
and
place.
it's just a sad state of affairs. I think everybody knew this season was a write off completely as soon as everything started unfolding. I mean, you get beat off Celtic 4-0, you're an embarrassing Champions League team. Gio gets sacked. Michael Beale has to come in and pick up all the scraps. And to be fair to him, he's done great so far. And then this game showed to me that he's got a lot to learn. He's a rookie manager because there was big decisions in this game.
He didn't make
It
them
reminded me a lot of Gerrard, actually, to be fair to you. See, at half time, he should be making changes.
changes
It
straight
wasn't
away.
working, and he's like, "No, I'm persisting with what I'd put out." Nah, I don't. Gerrard done the same thing. It was always 60-minute marking, make the changes, and I just don't feel that in a cup final you can offer to wait. Like, we had
Straight away.
chances in the first half as well. Like, Lundstrom obviously had one at the edge of
Should
the
have
box. He
scored.
probably should do better with it. Sakala was down that side a couple of times, just the wrong ball into the box. He was frustrating yesterday, Sakala, and then
For a
um,
for a
can't really
guy,
remember
sorry
any
mate,
other ones.
sorry to cut you hangman there, right? But for a guy who, do you know what I mean? He was getting the talking, what have you? And then when he plays, he's just such a frustrating football. There's the minutes, you know what I mean? There's times where you get a wee bit of brilliance out of him. See, no to score that. Do you know what I mean? That one, where it was at the post, sorry, like that's criminal. That, do you know what I mean? Some of the other stuff and all, I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, can you actually play football at times? Do you know what I mean? You watch this, Sakala, it really is, mate. He's just a frustrating player, and you think to yourself as well, Scott Wright at Hampden, the
Hmm.
last 10, 20 minutes, by the way, I can't even believe the words came out of my mouth that I've just said that, but
No, no.
you know what I mean? It obviously brought him on, but when I was watching it, as you say, mate, I'm thinking to myself, he's got it wrong in the middle of the park. But then just the commitment levels as well for me, and do you know what I mean? They're just, I'm like,
But
how
then
have you?
also the game plan as well. Like when we went 2-0 down, it just kind of reverted to, oh, we'll just pass it out wide and try and cross
Right.
into the box. We'll just try and see if that happens rather than maybe pass our way through a team or create any danger whatsoever. Like, I just feel like we lack on that part
Look
so
at when
much.
you see when you look at when we had the successful. It was when we took the game right to them. We ran right at them, and you were getting the chances. Do you know what I mean? It's just that is.
I'd still probably say it was an even enough game
Oh,
on
second,
paper.
second half.
It was just
We,
annoying how preventable their goals were, because I can't
I would,
remember Celtic having many other
yeah,
chances other than like the last 5 minutes of the game where we had obviously pushed everybody up the park and they could have capitalised. But apart from that, I can't remember them having like too
well,
many clear cut.
Kyogo had about one or two. Then he had the header, and then he had the shot as well. But if we're on about ones where it's got to be, I know when it goes through Cholak's legs, there's nothing Cholak can do about it. Barisic, bro,
That's the moment I think I
that's the
nearly
moment.
punched
That's
my
the moment
telly.
where aye, you break everything in your house, really, innit?
That
You know what I
literally
mean?
sums up Barisic, like that happening. Like that
He
just
wasn't
sums him up to a
involved,
T.
as you say, mate. He wasn't hanging. He was coasting in his head, coasting in
Mhm.
his head. And obviously, they had to show my boy Kemar Roof yesterday,
But
just
then
like
where
test
does this
him.
result leave us now? Because obviously that banner was
Mm.
put up against Livingston. I
Absolutely,
mean, fans right to have their
good opinion,
concerns and
absolutely.
voice that towards the board, to consistently keep telling us, "Oh, we're the best in class and we've got the
Best squad
best
we've
team I've
had in
seen
years.
at Rangers." Like, we're not stupid. We can see what's happening here, and we can see what's happened over the years with these teams bottling it in big games and for trophies and leagues. Like, that's not down to, you can't just keep recycling a manager every fucking year and
Yeah.
expect it to happen. A lot of this squad has to go now. I'm looking at personally. Obviously, McGregor had a few decent saves yesterday. Wasn't at fault for anything, I don't think.
No.
But
Well,
obviously, he'll be
maybe
gone in the summer. Barisic will be going. Kamara. I'd send Lundstrom away as well. Like, I just need a total refresh in this team. And whether that be Kent and Morelos as well, like, you're looking at it that way. But does that leave us what? Goldson, Davies, Tavernier, Raskin, Tillman, if we can even get him, leaves us with half a team. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be a huge rebuild in the summer to get.
the thing
It
is,
actually looks back to maybe Celtic when we won the league. They just get rid of everything and just look at their team now. They've
mm,
rebuilt it and they're on top. So I
uh,
just feel like we need something completely different. To be fair, and mirror what they've done.
as I say, it cycles up here, man. Do you know what I mean? Both, both sides go through it. Do you know what I mean? But there's a lot of players that have to go now. I don't want, especially the thing. You know what annoys me about John Lundstrom? Obviously, says he wants to be here, wants to retire up here and all that. Well, you need to show me that you want to play. You need to show me you're committed to the club, to the badge. Do you know what I mean? Not that you're just going to sit up here and coast, mate. You know what I mean?
That was probably one
Because you're going to be
another.
in the starting 11 every week. You know you are. Do you know what I mean? And you don't really need to. Do you know what I mean? I need to see. I mean, that's why I want Raskin playing. Right, two games we've watched him, and I'm thinking he's better than anyone we've got at the club.
No,
Absolutely fantastic player.
no, you just, there's just, people might say, "Oh, it's too early to say that," but when you actually just see a player in the flesh and you just know he's going to be good. Like, you
Good.
just know he's a good player. And our team really needs to be built around players like
Yeah.
that.
I like the partnership, by the way. I like Connor Goldson and I like Davies
I
together.
like the two of them together as well. I
I just
think
think Davies has a wee moment where he switches off, and like Connor Goldson has to tell him keep. You know what I mean? Tav. I mean, I feel so. You know what I mean? You've got to feel it for him as well. Do you know what I mean? I feel it for him. Barisic, I don't. I don't feel nothing for that guy. I just want him gone. I want him, Kamara, just gone for this team. I'll be shocked if Morelos. I don't think Morelos will sign a new deal really. I think there's a chance
mm,
Kent, but I'll be shocked if Morelos does. Yeah, you'd be absolutely livid if you were him. You've scored the equalising goal. You're back up for it. You're wanting to go, and then you get subbed off.
but
It's a
see, when he
killer,
was making
man.
that change, I thought he was going to bring on Cholak to play
Well,
alongside Morelos and go for it.
aye,
Like, two strikers on the pitch is going to give you much better
it's
opportunity to score on the
confidence,
goal.
aye.
I just, Michael Beale has a lot to answer for, and he has answered it. And he comes out with this standard stuff all the time. And as I was saying about the banner and that, like, we've been a laughing stock in terms of
Mm.
our trophy haul over the past 10 years. It's just been a joke, and every time we get ourselves into that position, we just shit the bed. And I feel like Michael Beale shat the bed yesterday with his tactics, and he similarly did near enough with Celtic at home as well. The two each game earlier on in the season. Um,
I'm not. It's a learning thing where you hope he learns from. Do you know what I mean? You hope that this fires him up. You hope this is what gives him where he goes to the board and he goes, no, you're giving me what I need. I want to be
Mm-hmm.
successful here. Because as you say, at the end of the day, there's only so many times you can recycle the manager and, you know what I mean, blame the manager. It's on the board and it's on the players as well. The players need to take some responsibility as well. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that they'll duck or hide for it. I know the majority of them will take responsibility. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just as a shame. We were all fuming because for me, this was a game. I felt like we really could have done. So, do you know what I mean? The chances we had in the second half, you're thinking, right, you just got to bury one of them, and you kept getting them. And you're not going to get many, by the way, with Carter Vickers. You know what I mean? Solid unit boy. You know what I mean? I'll give Starfelt his thing, man. I think he's not that good, but he's improved in what he used to be. Do you know what I mean? But I just think that Hatate he's a fantastic player. You've got to say that. My head that he just runs and runs and runs. Jota wasn't
Just
really in the game for him. I don't know.
Jota
He
just
wasn't really
try to be too
a
fancy with it, I
passenger.
think.
He was a passenger. Do you know what I mean? Um,
Callum
I'm
McGregor literally controlled the full game.
aye.
But then
Typical McGregor in it, but
that's exactly where we shot ourselves in the foot because we had
yep,
nobody to get close to him. We had nobody to go and say, no,
match
I'm
that
going to take this game. Be a scruff
exactly.
of my neck. He just
He
controlled
was
the
sitting on
game.
the bench. A player that
Aye.
could have done that for us.
Aye, Michael Beale, he's, as you say, rookie manager, and you hope he learns for this and doesn't keep making the same mistakes in these games because you know it doesn't last too long. When you continue to lose these games, you're always
Oh, 5
judged on
minutes
these
with
games.
just see if I could have 5 minutes with Barisic. Just tell it. This guy,
I
man.
just can't wait till Ridvan Yilmaz comes back. I want to see just a fresh face in that left back
Back
position.
position.
I want to see somebody actually pushing him for the shot. Again, I want to see that all over the team.
Team.
I just don't. We've dealt with this too long. Where you just know what the team's going to be, and you bought players and they wouldn't even get a chance. And now is time for everybody to get a chance. It
Chance.
could be Scott Wright, it could be whoever. Everybody
It's
deserves a chance now. See, when you shoot
unacceptable.
yourselves in the foot and you can't perform on that stage, you don't deserve to go and play the next game for me. Obviously, Kilmarnock at home it will be, and you would hope we'll be able to win that game. But I'm wanting to see. I'm wanting to see some change at least in the middle of the park. I need to see Ryan Jack in there with Raskin.
Asking.
I need to see Todd Cantwell
He
start the
needs to get
game.
back in the team. I liked that about
Um,
him yesterday. He had that nastiness in him as well, and obviously took the
And
book.
people were saying, "No, he's going to be too soft for this fixture."
Nah, man. I think my
Like,
boy can go for it.
like that's his first taste of the fixture as well. He was probably again up for debate starting the game. Tillman didn't look fit. Tillman looked out of position as well. Like playing in the right hand of that three, it's not Tillman. Tillman's where Sakala plays or in front of John Lundstrom there in the middle of the park, and you go to playing the two in the midfield. And I just don't feel like that suited Tillman at all. I know people will be like, oh, he's lazy, he'll
He
do
was
this and
stepped
that.
back.
He was also stepping back and he was trying to do it, but that's not his best position. You're not going to get the best player, Malik Tillman version anyway, playing there. And
They're not, mate. I mean, there was a chance for me that was a massive chance as well. It was obviously the one where Tav whips it in, Carter Vickers just there again. Do you know what I
mhm,
mean? All he has to do is just be there. It's a tap in for Tillman, but
mhm.
I really, I don't know. I don't know if he'll be at Celtic. I think there's one or two players there that you could look at and say they could be off it. Obviously, there's the same words in terms of free contracts, but I reckon he'll definitely be back
But
in the
then
club.
that's when you kind of look at it like Celtic are a good team. Like
Are
they've won the
they are
cup, they're a good
absolutely.
team, but they're no better than we can be at our best level. I don't think. And
No,
that's what's annoying about it because we consistently surrender this fixture all the time, and the players know they can go and beat them, but it just seems like Celtic are world beaters to them. You need to have
I
that
don't
belief first
even.
and foremost.
As I say, I can't believe Kamara's been here for a while now. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know, I actually seen some stats about Glenn Kamara, and I know he's not been the most forward-thinking midfielder. He's always kind of just been that kind of box-to-box midfielder. He'll keep things ticking. He's got nice fancy touches and whatever. But I think it was over 100 games anyway. I think it's 11 goals and 9 assists or something. So averaging like 2 goals and 3 assists a season. When you think about that for a midfielder that's starting for Rangers and that output, that
Mm,
is nowhere near good enough.
no.
And Glenn Kamara's done at Rangers. John Lundstrom has a lot to win back for a lot
Well,
of
if he
fans,
wants
I
to be
think.
here, exactly. If he wants to be here and he wants to give the big shot that he's trying to be, you
Um,
need to match that with the work for me. I'm not.
And
I mean,
and James Tavernier again coming out with like, oh, we'll need to get better. How can you have not got better after
I know,
losing
but
near enough 20 Old Firm games, like as a captain
no,
of Rangers? Like, I'm sick of just
I'm not
yellow
gonna.
bullshit.
But that see what do you want him to say there? What would you want him to say? What can he's devastated. You know he's devastated.
Of course he is, but I just like tell us something real. Tell us something that we actually believe, rather than oh we'll get better, because you've been saying that forever. You know what I mean? I just would rather more honest with us, and I think
Can't really
Michael
know how
Beale
to say
is.
that, innit? Can't.
It's
Do you know what I mean?
I guess that's what it is with a press conference.
You
I
can't
get
turn
that,
around and do about Connor Goldson. Look at what happened with Connor Goldson. We're all like, oh, I can't say. And then you're like, actually, what he said there was actually it was refreshing.
and it still is existing to this day, which
You know what I
is
mean?
alarming. But I think they'll. If this continues to happen, I don't think this obviously the support haven't took this result well. I haven't.
I
And
won't. I can't.
this game's coming up in Saturday. That banner came out. I think you'll start to see a lot of protests towards this board for the kind of state we've been in, and just the way this season's went, kind of making out as everyone's all right.
It's the same with
It's
the
going to go
thing,
for
but
bad to worse. I think in terms of
uh,
that. I think the fans are going to really, I hope anyway,
oh,
get
we've had enough.
really onto them. And
We've had enough, mate. I
hopefully
want.
we see changes.
You want refreshments, you say in there. I want new faces in this team in the summer. I want a new forward. I want new midfielders. Do you know what I mean? I want Michael Beale to succeed, and I want him to get the players in that he wants in. Um, just had enough of it. Do you know what I mean? It's as you say, just rinse repeat, man.
Nah,
It's the money. It's just money grab, as I say. You know what I mean? And aye, they're just it's just frustrating, mate.
it's
Frustrating.
a frustrating
Um,
result. Of course, as you lose a trophy, you're never going to be happy.
yeah,
So as what it is, we move on for it. As we'll try and do, we go and play in the league now, where it's like, what's the point? It's like literally, what's the point anymore? Um, hopefully we see some changes in the starting 11. Hopefully we start going putting teams away and actually playing for 90 minutes.
aye.
It would be so Rangers actually, this team, to go and absolutely batter Kilmarnock and play the best football they've played all season when they couldn't even string a pass together against Celtic in the cup. Like, that's just so Rangers, but that's what it
That
is.
was embarrassing and all, man. The fact we couldn't even get a single at passing that, I
But
thought,
then, as I said to you, I don't know if it was the last podcast we talked about it. We always start these games pure nervous as anything, and
aye.
Celtic just look comfortable, and that's it. Like every single Old Firm game, apart from obviously the closed door ones that nobody was even there for, we just look like we're so nervous to go and play Celtic. That
Mm.
that
We're in
still
our own
lives in our
heads.
head, and it quickly has to change. But will it? Who knows? Aye, that's the podcast. That's the podcast. Totally negative, but
Frustration.
had to be said. Frustrations let
No,
out,
it
and
either goes one way or another, in my opinion, as I say, but learning curve, and I hope we can start to progress here and win more trophies. We have to win more trophies. There's no
nah, we
excuse
have
anymore
to.
for
There's
me.
no excuses anymore. We've been in what 3 finals in under a year, and we've won 1 cup.
No
Like
good enough, man.
it's not good enough. So, aye, let us know your thoughts if you like the podcast. Which, aye, we'll see you in the next one.